Good morning. This is Rabbi Shlomo first here in Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi, Yerushalyim, HaKodesh, it's Rosh Chodesh Tammuz. We are learning our first year, 95, Turkey, Avos. We are located in the Beit Knesset of Hanihi Yeshivas, which is not too far from the central bus station. You can walk from there, take a bus. If you're driving, there's parking across the street. And especially if you're coming from Putzpors, please join us so we can help enrich your visit to Yerushalyim with as much Torah as humanly possible. With all the staff and Shemai we can grant you, Mitzvah Shem. Pirkei Avos, the first parak, the seventh Mishnah. The Tayal Barley Oimer Hartek Neshachin Rav. We should distance from a bad neighbor. Altis Kabel Russia, don't associate with someone who's evil. Altis Yais Minaponish, don't keep shutting and Altis Yais Minaponish, don't despair from Pronius, meaning in the midst of hardships, tragedies, calamities, lo olenu, a person should not despair, meaning Hashem will, just like Hashem put you into this situation, Hashem will take you out, and there'll be brighter days to be had. Another understanding is, Altis Yais from Pronius, don't forget about them, meaning they're due to come one way or another, right? Ashrei Adam l'safek panim, as the person say, the person is always fearful that things may change, and he should never have to show him relax in his avodah to HaKodesh Baruch Hu, because things are going good. You never know when things might change. So now on that point, we are learning in the Sefer HaYashiv of Rabbeinu Tam, explaining in great detail that all the events that happen to people, whether they may be obviously beneficial, like wealth, fame, although fame is not always absolutely beneficial, wealth is not always absolutely beneficial. Nothing has its complete ups and without any downs. So, and even those things which seem to be absolutely bad, exile, sickness, losses of money, all these kind of things, whatever they may be, a person's attitude towards all kinds of events that are happening to him is crucial in determining how strong he's going to be in serving HaKodesh Baruch Hu. Meaning the strength of his amunah, faith in HaKodesh Baruch Hu, is going to hold him steady in the midst of anything that may happen to him. Right, so that's what Rabbeinu Tam is teaching us right now.
You said this dictates his level of service, his attitude?
Right. His level of service will be determined under all circumstances, whatever they may be, depending on his faith in the HaKodesh Baruch Hu.
This is Rabbeinu Tam?
This is Rabbeinu Tam in the Sefer HaYashiv. Right. That's what he's going to be saying right here. You have the paragraph, maybe you should have to read for us a bit. That it says over here, Kasher lo yochel, in the middle of that paragraph, page 2, on the second page. Kasher lo yochel haruchos.
Kasher lo yochel haruchos.
You have it there, Memphis?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Kasher lo yochel haruchos hachazakas. V'aka hargadol. The strong winds are not able to uproot a big mountain.
Great mountain, you like it. The winds can blow as strong as they like, but not going to uproot, not going to affect a great mountain.
The hamisha in common to remove it from its place.
Right? Remain where it is.
Kach hasechel chazak.
Cain Haskell. Likewise, the person who's intelligent.
Chazak v'emunah, strong in his belief. Ha'ikris loy yamisha. Kol eile ha'ma'aros. What does ha'ikris mean?
Right, v'amunah ha'ikaris, right? Likewise, ha'askel, the person who's intelligent, ha'chazak, he's strong, and emunah ha'ikaris, and his primary, right, ikir, what's ikir, is primary, his primary faith, lo yimushum, will not be moved. All these events will not touch his basic emunah.
Tzorech ha'adam lizaher b'eis hazot. Person has to be careful from this time. Yeda ki aidei zeh hatanai ba. Bris im elakav. Through this condition, made a covenant with Hashem.
Right. So this is an important point that we touched on yesterday. Tzorech adam lizar beis hazos. At the time when a person's undergoing difficulties, right? Whether they be good things, or all of a sudden he got rich, right? He got famous all of a sudden overnight. People realize what a great person he is, right? And or something, if it's on the downside, something happened to him. At this time, a person must be very careful. He has to know. He has to know. Ki al zos hatanai ba bibris in elakav. It was on this condition he entered into a covenant with the HaKodesh Baruch Hu. This is something which is a new idea to most of us, that we have an agreement with the HaKodesh Baruch Hu. We have made an agreement with the HaKodesh Baruch Hu.
What kind of agreement?
Okay, good. Let's go a couple more lines.
Okay.
Then we'll explain it. Okay.
Okay.
Very good. But this has to be understood. Very good.
Acharei kasher hisna al nafshi la'avoid himself. Afterwards, right?
Well, actually, since Asher Hisne al Nafshi la'avodoso, he made a agreement with his soul that he is going to serve a HaKodesh Baruch Hu. You have two things. We have a bris, you have a covenant with the HaKodesh Baruch Hu, and you have an agreement with your soul that you're going to be serving the HaKodesh Baruch Hu.
Tzorech l'Hashem nidroi. Has to complete his neder l'kayim Israel. Fulfill its Israel.
Right. He tzorech lahashlim, he has to fulfill his vow, right? And to fulfill Asher, what he has now decided for himself.
What does that mean? Decided for himself.
Meaning, okay, the Rabbeinu Tam is not explained to us, but there are two Gemoras. There's a Gemora in Rosh Hashanah, there's a Gemora in Nida. Maybe today's Yom Kippur, maybe Yom Rishon, we'll go into them in a little more detail. That both Gemoras, they're different but related. The Gemora in Rosh Hashanah basically says that everything that's created, right, whether it be daiming, it's inanimate, whether it be plant life, right, Sameach, whether it's Baal Chai, whether it's animal life, whether it's Medaber, whether it's human life, right, whether it's Klal Yisrael, one of the Jewish nation, everything that's been brought into this world before it's been created has been shown, right, what it is destined to be created into in this world, and was agreeable to come into this world as what it is. Right? That's number one. We're all agreeable to what we are, as we are, and we were shown and agreeable to everything that we are before we even came into this world. Right? That's the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah, number one. Number two is a Gemara in Nida, that the Vlad, the Uber, the fetus that's living within the womb of the mother for 9 months, right, as we know, is being taught Torah for 9 months in the womb of the mother.
Okay.
Right? At the time when the child is about to be born, right, the Malach, the angel which has been teaching the Torah, concludes the learning and commands the child about to be born that you now know Torah and you now must go into this world and become a tzaddik, and you must agree to that. And it agrees. And at that point the child is born.
So what is it? A child? A fetus? Is it a soul? What's in the womb?
Okay, well, okay. There's a fetus there. There's a fetus.
Is it a human being?
Yeah, it's an unborn human being. Unborn human being. There is a soul there. There's a soul there as well, right? And there are interactions between the two. There are things taking place there, right? And at the point of birth, the baby which is about to be born now is given the vow which it must take to become a tzaddik. And at that point it comes into this world, forgets all the Torah that it was being taught, and begins a life of a human being, a baby crying, not knowing anything.
Which Gemara was that?
This is more Nida.
Nida.
Yeah. I'll bring the sources the next time we meet, Hashem.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
You mentioned if you see Rav Bertram, you want to ask, he'll show you where it is. This is not, I think it's Chav Beis. I forgot exactly where it is. I think it's Chav Beis.
Okay, so everything that was created
Right.
was shown its lifespan and agreed to go through with it.
I'm not sure if it was shown its lifespan. It was shown what it would be when it's created. That it's going to be created like this. It's going to be created like that. So these are the things that the Rabbeinu Tam is intimating to us here. He's talking about a covenant with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, a bris, email a card, a bris with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Hisne al nafsho la'avoid so. He's making a condition with his soul to serve Hashem. A hashlim nidroi. He has to fulfill his vow, right?
These are big words. Okay, I'm sorry. The Gemara Nida says that the Torah was taught we know that Torah is taught to the children in the womb. For the 9 months, it's in however long it's in the womb. And the angel that was teaching the Torah, at the end of the learning, commands the child that now it has to be born and grow to be a tzaddik, and the child agrees to take that life, to take that path.
Basically. I'll bring it in next film we've shown. If you want, you have a little chance with Rav Bertram. You can show you a little more. We can learn it together. It's very, very basic Gemara.
Okay.
You'll get those signs up in Yerushalyim.
Exactly.
I'll take a look at it again. We're gonna put a stop sign on there too. Stop.
That's a smart idea.
Stop. Enter on these conditions.
Wow.
See if we can try and get the message clearly and friendly.
We just have to train everyone. No one's trained.
No problem. Easy. Easy. So that's what he meant. Tzurach lo lahachim leiv chazak ha'ametz l'kabel ha'ma'orois. And a person has to he has to prepare leiv chazak. He has to prepare a strong heart, ha'ametz, and an energetic heart, l'kabel ha'ma'orois, to receive, to integrate the events. He's got to integrate all the events that happen to him in this world, especially the major things that he's been talking about. He's talking about exile, imprisonment, fame, fortune, illness, right? All these things, tremendous things that are going to affect the person in his service to HaKodesh Baruch Hu. He has to prepare his slave to be strong and vigorous to integrate these events, right? And he has to consider them immediately when they happen, meaning he's got to react quickly and properly, right? He has to integrate these things so he's not going to be affected by these things in a detrimental way, which will cause him to be lax in his avodah in some way. He should be expectant every day, every hour, right, every month, right? He should say to himself, Im lo yavu hayom ha'misrois yavu machar. If things don't happen today, they're going to happen tomorrow. Vim lo yavu machar yavo la'achar machar. If they don't come tomorrow, they come after tomorrow. This is corresponding to what the previous portion was saying. Ashri adam l'sfakei tummy. The person is going to be fortunate if he's going to be continually fearful. Fearful of what? Right? He's fearful that things, right? Rashi said, if you take your sheet there and look on the first page, it says, there Rashi's explaining, Al is tisyayish min apronios, shim ate ashir, if a person's rich, like the very first, if you want to read that one, read that first one, Rashi, on the second, first page.
Okay. Mishnah Zion?
Right, right in the second one, we have Perish Rashi, all Avos.
Okay. Okay, Perish, Rashi, Avos. Okay, I see. Okay. Sasisa mean Hafuranos. She'aim ata asher el al tovatach
That's Tivtach.
tivtach va'ashuch lefi hashufo haparonius mimeros Lavo.
Let's stop there. Again, take a look. Like it says, Rashi says he's going on the statement of Natai Arabeli. Said Al tisyayish min apronius. Don't forget about pronius. What does that mean? Don't forget about pronius. Im ata ashir. You're rich. That's, for example, he's giving an example. Let's say you're rich. Al tiftach b'ashrecha. Don't be confident. Don't be trusting in your riches. Don't rely on your riches. Why? The tragedies and calamities are quick to come.
We have to do first paragraph.
Rashi. Therefore, at all times you should be fearful. Right? Like we said last week when we learned this, is that we said, well, a person can kind of go crazy, he's going to get complex. Right? And you're going to tell him to be fearful all the time, he's going to complex, he's going to get depressed and things like this. And actually not. Right? We're going to see that we'll finish up the Rabbeinu Tam. Actually not. The opposite is true. The people who think everything's going great and they have it made forever and ever and ever, and when they get up, when the apple cart gets upset, right? Those are the ones who go crazy. They weren't expecting this. They thought everything was going to go 100% their way all the time. Those are the people who go crazy. The people who are continually concerned that Hashem may turn the tables on them, right? And they're always trying to keep up the very best avoda that they can. They're trying to serve Hashem in the very best way constantly, right? Because they know that if anything can stop things from getting worse, the one thing that can possibly help is their Torah, their tefillah, prayers, their ma'asim tovim, their avoda. So they try and keep that on a very high level constantly, right? So use that as a motivation to serve Hashem in the best way possible, right? But you don't want to get fired from the job, so be a good worker, right? Yeah. The boss can, fire anytime he wants. Right? Simple, no?
It's funny how that works.
What do you mean?
It's just, now for me personally, it's like okay, getting fired means something to me, but this I can't grasp.
Yeah. Why can't you grasp it?
I don't feel it.
Okay, I mean, look, it's sort of abstract, right? We have a tendency to want to punt, and we want to say, like, HaKodesh Baruch Hu's way, he's way, and people get the wrong way, he's not paying, Hashem Shalom is not paying attention to me, No, Hashem is paying attention to you. Right? He does care absolutely, completely, 100% about you, like he does with every other Jew and every other human being in the world. Right? He's very, very seriously interested in what we're all doing, and especially people like us, Yerushalyim and Torah and things like this. We're in the control center. We're in the palace of the king. Right? So he's most concerned, so to speak, with us. All those things happening around the world, like, they're just reflections. I've been learning, and that's what we're learning in Nafshi. They're just outcomes and reflections of what we're doing. Right? So yeah, like, obviously, your boss is down the hall in his executive suite, and you're, in the office, so you can walk in any time and say, okay, here's your just let so long. So you keep on your toes, right?
You can just fire you any time.
What?
The boss can fire you any time he wants.
Well, yeah. Why not? It's his business. What? But he owes you something. He's paying you money. Isn't that good enough?
Yeah. Generally, they don't know what to do because they have to find a replacement.
What?
They have to find a replacement.
That's his headache. He wants to get rid of you. Why not?
When you become more of a headache than it is for him to find the new person, that's when you go.
You have to pray and that's all you need to try out that.
First of all, you have to do a good job. You have to show up on time, right? You do your job, do your work. Maybe you put in extra time. Now you're going to get paid for it. He's interested in people who are going to work for free. Well, they'll keep the jobs. Yeah? So that's what Rashi's saying. He's saying the exact same thing as Rabbeinu Tam, right? Ashrei al Mufaki Kami, right? Therefore, if it's something difficult, bad's going to happen to a person, don't despair. Just like Hashem can bring the calamities, Hashem can bring the Yeshuas. He can bring the salvations as well, right? Because there's no Katsu Yad Hashem Moshe. It's not Hashem's hand is not lacking when it comes to saving people. Hashem can save people all different ways.
Hashem's not limited.
Unlimited. Okay, we'll stop here. We'll continue with the Rabbeinu Tam Mitzvah Shem.